In Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, the lighting and cinematography made this an enjoyable, award-winning success that is accepted and loved by elite critics and moviegoers from all over. Pulp Fiction is a drama and crime thriller that was created in 1994 by Quentin Tarantino, and it is set in Los Angeles, California.
It was produced during the revisionist stage of its genre and brought new ideas to the crime genre through its unusual film form, exceptional tonality, and give different meaning or idea to it. In this film, Vincent Vega is played by Johnny Travolta, who is a hitman for Mr. Wallace. His partner Jules, who is played by Samuel L. Jackson, also a hitman and Vincent's right-hand man. Mr. Wallace, played by Ving Rhames, is also called boss in this quote-unquote mob or gang. Butch, played by Bruce Willis, is a boxer whose hero is his father. Mia, played by Uma Thurman, is Mr. Wallace's wife, who is very protected by Mr. Wallace.
We believe that the all-around lighting helped tell the story and explain who or what was of importance in each scene. As you can see in these pictures, when the briefcase is open, it is glowing, which resembles its importance of what's inside. This quote-unquote secret of what's inside remains a mystery, but there are some Pulp Fiction fanatics that believe the soul of Mr. Wallace lives inside because of the cut on the back of his head.
A second important piece of lighting we noticed was frontal lighting on Butch when he drives back to get his watch that his girlfriend Fabian left at his apartment. As you will see in the clip, the frontal lighting is showing all of Butch's expressions clearly and how angry he is that it was left at the apartment. This watch is important to Butch because it was his father's.
All the fucking things she can fucking forget, she forgets my father's watch! I specifically reminded her. Bedside table, on the kangaroo.
Another example of lighting we observed would be key lighting, because if Vincent is in the frame, he often has the most lighting on him. This is because he is the main character of the movie and is always highlighted in the frame. Cinematography makes this film great because it supports the film's overall mood of the visual narrative.
An example we found would be this tracking shot that affects the scene by building suspense because Butch isn't taking a traditional route to his own apartment, but instead taking a more mysterious route, which gets you to wonder why he's ducking behind houses and going through fences to get to where he lives. The camera follows behind him as if we were following in close pursuit.
The next example we noticed was when Vincent is about to stab Mia with the adrenaline shot to wake her up to make sure she does not die from her heroin overdose.
Two. Three!
The quick, cutted, close-up shots provided by the clip we just watched helped build suspense for the audience because no one knew if Mia was going to survive from her overdose. If Mia were to pass away and not survive, Mr. Wallace would likely have a bounty for Vincent's head because, like I said earlier, Mr. Wallace is very overprotective of Mia.
In the bar, there is a very red tone and all red lighting throughout the bar. Throughout the film, you will notice that primary colors pop and every other color is kind of faded. In a typical noir crime film, they were all black and white with no colors. But Pulp Fiction has a revisionist twist and adds a bright color palette that shows the primary colors pop, as in red, blue, and yellow. The red lighting gives the audience some pleasant lighting and gives off some mood that the audience receives.
Our fourth and final example of cinematography we noticed was in the third story of the movie, The Bonnie Situation, when the robber has a gun pointed at Jules and the camera is high above looking down at Jules and then low behind Jules looking up at the gun. The camera's unique angles show Jules has no power, which will be shown in this next clip.
Be cool, honey bunny, be cool. No problem, I got it under control. Now, I'm gonna count to 3. If you don't open that case, I'm gonna unload in your fucking face. We clear?
Even though as an audience, we know Jules has a gun, as of right now, he does not have the power because a gun is pointed straight at his head, whereas his is on the bench to the right of his thigh.
We enjoyed watching this film because it was an action-packed film and it was hilarious. The critics loved it too, nominating it for many awards and it winning a decent amount of them. This film has won 1 Oscar and won another 68 awards. It was nominated for 78 others, according to IMDb.com. This was a big hit for Tarantino as his previous films were trying too hard to be cool, and after making 2 decent films prior to this one, he finally popped off with Pulp Fiction. Audiences raved at this new release as its dark and serious tones, yet lighthearted comedic aspects, provide a balance that Tarantino was looking for, but couldn't quite hit previously. This film came out in 1994 and has been on the AFI Top 100 films since. It has stood the test of time and deserves to be hailed as one of the greatest films of all time.